Where Hawaii Eats is brought to you by the Honolulu Star Advertisers Dining Out, Outrigger Waikiki Hotels and Resorts, Cisco Hawaii, Stanford Car Development LLC, Hawaii Cancer Care, and JN Automotive Group. Welcome to Where Hawaii Eats. We are in Hawaii Kai at the Flagship restaurant for Roy Yamaguchi, Roy's Hawaii Kai. And joining us today is the legend himself, Chef Roy Yamaguchi.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you for doing the show. So you made a beautiful array of beautiful items. Can you tell me what you prepared for us today?
Okay, well, we have 5 items, and to your very front, away from you, is our U10 scallops, and it has a bacon and bubu arare crust, and it comes with a 5-spice kabocha puree, tempura green beans, and it has a reduction of port wine.
Oh, wow.
And then we have the baobans here, which is vegan, with the tempura zucchini on top and Asian relish. And then we have our hamachi, which comes with sea asparagus, and it has a white soy dressing, and it has some topiko caviar, and I enjoyed it a lot. And then we have our Brussels sprouts, crispy Brussels sprouts. We have some goat cheese in there. And then our last, we have our filet, which has a bacon and boursin cheese crust. And it comes with a spinach fettuccine. Has a really nice cream sauce to it, and some roasted tomatoes.
Okay, we are going to have to dig in and while we tell the story.
Dig in first. You're the guest of honor. So
I think I'd like to start with the scallops. They look amazing.
Okay. With your scallops. We'll just move this
So
over
when
here.
you say U10, what does that mean for a scallop?
U10 means that there's 10 scallops to a pound, so it's largely it's pretty large in size. I mean, you have counts that are smaller, so there could be 30 to a pound, and these are larger ones, so they're U10s, and you can find some that are even larger.
And so these are edible flowers that you've also garnished.
Edible
that with?
flowers, yeah. So what you want to do is kind of like when you eat this dish, it's kind of nice if you can kind of take a bite by itself, the scallops by itself, or you can actually eat it with some of the puree and then some of the sauce, so as you move along, as you eat this, you can make different flavors every time you take a bite.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The whole thing about our restaurant is to be creative, and our restaurants are chef driven. So we try and change the menu as often as possible. So when the chef gets an inspiration, or if I get an inspiration, we kind of get together and say, hey, listen, what about this dish? So we'll put those dishes on the menu itself, and as time goes by, we're always willing to add new dishes, change it. But again, there's times when our guests will tell us that, hey, listen, why don't you bring that back on, or why don't you leave that on the menu? So some of the items will stay on the menu a lot longer than others. But that's how we kind of rotate our menu.
So I'm gonna divulge into this.
You don't have to be dainty. You just
I
go
am
and cut.
dainty.
You just go and cut. I mean, the whole thing about eating is having a good time. It's all about, just going at it, and it's just full force. You don't have to go like this. You just kind of dive in and go for it.
Okay, I'll be a little bit more
Got to be aggressive.
aggressive.
Got to be aggressive. Aggressive. Yeah, take a sip of wine. You got to have to loosen you up a little bit. What do you think? This is a nice Albon Clement by Jim Clendenin. It's a Roy's house wine. Yeah,
Very good. Very good. No, this is a nice pairing with the choices that you
Yeah,
have
I'd like
here.
to enjoy. For me, I enjoy drinking a lot of white wine, because white wine to me is very cleansing. I love my wines cold. A lot of people like it room temperature. I'm a type of guy that likes it cold because my mom used to always say, hey, Roy, growing up, I love things cold and I love things hot. So if I drink something, I prefer it nice and, ice cold.
Or really, really hot.
Or really, really hot. So wines, of course, should be, more towards room temperature if you're drinking white wine to get all the flavors and aroma. But still, for me, I enjoy just the freshness and the palate cleansing type of effect. So when I eat, having white wine is very, very, not, it goes along with all the dishes, but it's also a very mouth cleansing. We're really motivated by, the creations that we can think of, and we're inspired by life. So what we want to do is change things all the time. This can't be just mundane and just do the same thing over and over again.
No, that's how you stayed kind of top of mind and kind of flourished, and that's why you're Roy Yamaguchi.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least for today, I'm Roy Yamaguchi.
So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more with Roy. So, Chef Roy, tell me about this bromance you have with Alan Wong.
Romance. Well, it's love at first sight for sure. I mean, what can I tell you? He's a great human being. He's a great chef. He really hones in on his craft. He's definitely one of the best chefs I ever met in my life. And he's true. I mean, he's true to his profession. He's very passionate about what he does. And I'm very, very fortunate that I met him a long time ago, and we've had many drinks, many outings, and many nights just
Lots
talking.
of memories.
Yeah, great memories.
So the interesting thing about how you started your career is the home economics angle in high school. So you can meet girls, and we see that it's become a passion. It's actually worked for you.
Beyond that, my grandfather owned a restaurant. He loved to cook. My father loved to cook. He did most of the cooking at home. So growing up, I was always kind of like helping my dad, in the kitchen from time to time. But he had this big pot of teriyaki sauce that he never washed the pot, but he kept on adding stuff to it. And then finally taking home ec, roasting that turkey and inviting my school counselor. And the school counselor saying, "Hey, Roy, what are you gonna do for the rest of your life?" Didn't know, and he goes, "Hey, cooking could be your career." So that's how my cooking got to where it is today, because without that one incident in home ec, I would have never taken this path.
Interesting. So this show is called Where Hawaii Eats. This is the flagship restaurant in Hawaii Kai, but you have more than one restaurant here on the islands. Can you tell me a little bit more about your other restaurants?
Well, I've been fortunate to open many Roys on the island. So we're on Kauai, we're on the Big Island, and we're on Maui. So we have the different Roys on those islands, and along the way, I did open other concepts that are different from Roy's. And for me, Roy's is very, very special because I think it's one of these things where I first opened a restaurant in Los Angeles. That was my first restaurant that I opened. And I started my style of cooking that reflects me as we have today. And it was all about my own personality coming into life. And when I cook, I want people to see who I am. But with the help of chefs that, do work for us now they are the creators. And they help me create and advance what I started, over 33 years ago in Hawaii and over 40 years ago, including Los Angeles. So now, that's what I like to highlight is the great talent that we have in our company and the great chefs that we have that can really transform my ideas and their ideas together and come up with dishes that are very, very creative, as you see right here.
That is something constant that I hear from your chefs that do work for your other restaurants, and they do, you provide the pillar and then they take it and they run with it, and they make amazing dishes as well.
And like Zamir always says, this is the original Roy's.
This is the OG. No, this is good. This has been here for a long time. Many people, when they come travel, they make this a destination, but also the locals really support you as well.
I wanted a restaurant that was very, very upscale in food, meaning that it's food that we really are creative and put a lot of emphasis on, but yet we wanted a casual environment. Mm-hmm. To me, it's really important that the environment is casual, because then it doesn't become a one-time restaurant, meaning that, or once a year restaurant. We want people to come here all the time, so we want people to feel good. We want people to feel as if they're experiencing life. And to me, dining is the experience of just coming together.
Can you tell me about this particular dish right here?
Okay, so this is the hamachi, and it has a soy vinaigrette, the yuzu kosho, white soy vinaigrette, So I'm gonna give you a little piece of this, and put that right there.
Thank you.
And then I'll give you some of the sea asparagus. And then some, it has some tobiko on there, and some radish and some spice sprouts. So what you want to do is kind of like,
Mix it up.
yeah, mix it up, and I'm just going to go like that. Throw some more of that vinaigrette on there. Fast, fast, fast. How's that taste? It tastes good?
Very good.
Yeah, so you have the little creaminess from the mayo, and then you also have the sort of like the acidicness from the soy, the vinaigrette. So the
Very
richness of the hamachi. With that, a little thank you to you, and so hopefully you'll be back soon.
All the time. I will be here all the time. For more information, visit royyamaguchi.com. Thank you so much for doing the show and prepping all this amazing food and having wine.
Thank you. That's a must.
Welcome to Where Hawaii Eats. We are in Kaka'ako at a cute little Japanese restaurant. It's been very, very popular, Nanzan Giro Giro. Joining me today is the President CEO of Wilson Care Group, Shelley Wilson. Hi, Shelley.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for doing the show.
Yeah.
We also have Chef Yoshi that prepares a wonderful 6-course Kaiseki set. What's our first course?
So starter course is oyster charmush with Alaskan trout roll.
Wow,
Thank you.
this looks amazing. Thank you so much.
And so this course changes monthly, and the chef decides what is going to be on the menu. And celebrating 20 years?
10 years.
10 years. So in the 10 years he's been open, he has not repeated a dish.
That's amazing.
That's very
Oh my
amazing.
goodness. Wow.
Delicious.
That is incredible.
There's oysters,
It's like a custard. Almost like a custard.
asparagus.
Mhm.
Big custard, chopped.
Yeah.
Texture is asparagus.
Mm.
And there's bits of asparagus, and it's delicious.
Wow. What a combination. This is really incredible.
So Shelley, how did you get to Hawaii?
I actually came to Hawaii with the Army, and I was in the military for 8 years. I was in an accident when I was stationed in Iowa with the Army National Guard, and so one winter in very, very cold Midwest, I decided to come and visit some friends in Hawaii, and I never left. And I stayed here and finished my recovery at Tripler. I was in a wheelchair for a couple of years,
Wow.
and yeah, so I stayed in Hawaii.
And so you created your livelihood here, and you're celebrating 25 years.
Yeah, so my first company I started when I was 21, and I started that company because of what had happened to me with my accident, and my family was taking care of me, and it was a very, very difficult time. So when I landed in Hawaii and decided to stay here, I just saw this amazing community and individuals that really took care of their loved ones and the multi-generational households. And I thought, home care would be a really, really amazing business that I was also familiar with because of my own experience.
Well, that's quite an achievement, 25 years, congratulations.
Thank
so
you.
within that 25 years that you've been in Hawaii, you've seen the dining footprint change a little bit. So there must have been lots of great places you like to go. Can you share a couple of those restaurants with us?
Yeah, it's amazing what's happened with cuisine in Hawaii over the last 25 years. And some of my favorite places are probably really some of the smaller hole in the walls, the mom and pop restaurants. And one of my favorite restaurants in Hawaii is Duke's Bistro in Chinatown. And I've always loved Duke and his wife and their family. That's just a really fun place to go. And I've enjoyed a lot of different cuisine. One of my go-tos used to be the bistro on
Kauai.
Yeah, and so seeing the landscape change through the years, and some go, and there's new ones that pop up.
Sure. So Chef, what is this the second course?
Second course is fish cake and unagi soup. Fish cake is Big Island heart of palms with Kyoto yuba fish cake. Top is unagi eel with green beans puree.
Wow.
In Foie.
This is delicious.
Wow, there's so much texture. This is so good.
I can't even explain how good it is.
Yeah, just the combination of everything. And the puree, the green bean puree. There's a lot that I love about this restaurant, but I think it really starts with the chef. And Chef Yoshi, anyone that's been here certainly can feel his passion and his love for food. Chef Yoshi has an incredible personality, and I think, you just fall in love with him, and you feel the love that he is putting into every dish.
It's amazing. This is
third dish is sashimi course, nukozuke. So fish is Japanese Thai snapper marinade in soy sauce, and red tomato vinegar sauce, and spinach and Japanese yamaimo mountain potato vinegar, like a pickles.
Wow.
Together with wasabi.
wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's spring course.
Well, there's a lot going on in
I
this
know, it's
dish.
beautiful.
I don't know where to start.
It's delicious.
That's amazing.
Fish is so fresh. The wasabi has a little hint of that spice. And then you have the sesame leaves. Good job.
Wow, this is
Good job,
incredible.
Good.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Chef Yoshi, what do we have coming up next?
So first main course. Roast duck breast with foie gras terrine with sandwich zucchini. Bottom is barley and a little bit watercress.
Wow.
Wow, thank you so much. Every dish is so dynamic.
It's
so
so-
many ingredients in here.
It's so beautifully done. And the dishes are, you can purchase these dishes, correct? And they're made in Japan.
In Japan, in Kyoto.
Wow, they're beautiful. So
Like,
beautiful.
Oh, foie gras is so creamy.
Yes.
Very good.
Good.
The foie gras sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
It's delicious. This
Well,
is so good.
Every bite is different.
Unbelievable.
With all of these different ingredients.
Texture is good.
Yeah, the texture is really beautiful. And the creamy foie gras is, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's butter. It's like butter.
Mhm.
Like butter. Speaking of dining, you have a senior care facility out in Kailua, and you actually have a chef there, executive chef for the Kapuna, because everybody kind of has to stay indoors for the safety because of the pandemic. Tell me more about that. How did you create that position, and what types of things does a chef offer?
Yeah, we've had a chef out in Kailua at our senior living facility for prior to the pandemic as well. And I think everyone looks forward to the meals. And for Kapuna, it's one of the most important parts of the day. So the chef rotates the menu, and with the state dietitian and Department of Health, we're able to provide that joy in enjoying amazing cuisine through all of the challenges that everyone's going through.
So they have an in-house restaurant, basically.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. And they have fun. They have Sundays and field trips with snacks and things like that too.
Chef.
So second main dish is pork. pork belly with red miso, little bit spicy yuzu kosho pepper sauce. Bottom is nako cabbage and gobo, bird root sauce.
Wow,
Goodness.
that looks amazing.
It's incredible that he can come up with a completely different menu that he's never ever repeated before. And it tastes so incredible.
Wow, that looks beautiful.
Yes. Last course. Soup and rice, ochazuke. So top is seared Thai snapper with Thai snapper and clam broth. Garnish is tsukemono, napa cabbage and cucumber, nukazuke, little bit ume puree.
Wow,
Wow.
Enjoy soup. Soup is good.
Great.
soup is very good.
Clam and snapper.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
It is also spring flavor.
Spring flavor.
I don't know if you can see this little man hanging on the side of the bowl. He's here to ensure that you're enjoying every last bite of the dish.
And we are. It's really wonderful.
It's so cute. It's hilarious.
Also, and Big Island abalone.
Thank you, Chef Yoshi. Thank you, Shelley, for doing the show. Thank you for watching. And we're going to finish our last course, and it's a wrap. Where Hawaii Eats was brought to you by the Honolulu Star Advertisers Dining Out, Outrigger Waikiki Hotels and Resorts, Cisco Hawaii, Stanford Car Development LLC, Hawaii Cancer Care, and JN Automotive Group.